Hey guys, so this is going to be my June film wrap-up. I saw a few movies in June, and I'm going to talk about all of them. I'm also going to be talking about a couple shows at the end. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. The first movie I'm going to talk about is A Million Ways to Die in the West. Directed, written, and starring Seth MacFarlane. I love Seth MacFarlane. I love Family Guy. I love American Dad. Cleveland Show. Ugh, no. But I love most of everything he does. I love his voice. If you've never heard him sing before, his singing is amazing, and I think he's really funny. This movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West, was so fucking stupid that it was kind of hilarious. It was so bad, so incredibly, horribly bad, that it was a lot of fun to watch because it was so bad. I think a lot of it was meant to be really bad, and I think a lot of what he was going for was really successful, and I think it was a good movie, because it was so freaking bad and stupid. Basically, Seth MacFarlane's character is this guy living in the West who hates living there because everybody dies for the stupidest reasons. His girlfriend has just broken up with him. He hates his life, basically. He hates himself. And then this other lady comes into the picture, and she is Liam Neeson's character, who is like the biggest, baddest guy in the West. She is his wife, and they like have a thing, and Neil Patrick Harris is in it, and Sarah Silverman is in it, and it's so stupid and funny and ridiculous, and I really thought it was fun to watch. If you're not into Seth MacFarlane, then you really shouldn't see this movie. If you think vast amounts of stupidity sounds fun to watch, like I did, then you should totally give it a shot. Maybe not go see it in theaters, maybe wait until it's like on Netflix or something. But I saw it in theaters, and I thought it was pretty fun to watch. And then I saw The Fault in Our Stars, and it was good. It made me cry, definitely, a lot. It was a really bad movie to see by myself. I see a lot of movies by myself because I'm a loner like that. But I liked the movie. The book, it had all the same problems the book did, really. It had all the same problems that John Green's writing did. It was very, very, very true to the book. It was a really good adaptation of a book, because it was so true to the book. Everything that happened in the book happened in the movie, really. I think everything that they did in the movie was really well done to follow the book, but as a story, as a piece of writing, like, the writing was so weird. A lot of it just doesn't work in the medium of film. It works when it's written, sort of. It works better when it's written. It works better when it's John Green writing the story, but when it's said out loud, some of the things are really cringeworthy. At least everything that's being said is kind of silly. The story itself it is really nice and really sad, and like I said, it did make me cry. I thought Shailene Woodley was really good at being Hazel, and I liked all the other actors as their characters. I think they did a really good job making the movie. It had a lot of problems that you would expect a John Green movie adaptation would have. Like, its general quirkiness, its ridiculous quirkiness just doesn't really translate all that well to film, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan of John Green books in the first place, and I'm becoming less and less a fan of John Green as a whole, and the whole thing surrounding Vlogbrothers and Nerdfighters and stuff, and all of that stuff. I'm not really a fan of any of that. I think all of that is really, it isn't doing what they think it does. To me, in my personal opinion, it takes the individualism out of being an individual. Like, they try to promote being yourself and stuff, and yet everybody is obsessed with John Green and Hank Green and with being a nerd fighter and following the nerd fighter culture, and it just isn't what it's trying to be at all, in my opinion. And I think John Green's writing really has a lot of problems because of that, and also some other different problems. Like, he always writes about some like manic pixie dream girl thing. Like, I'm getting tired of hearing about that cliche, but it's so true for his books. Every single one of his books has that in it, except for this one. Except for, instead of it being a manic pixie dream girl, the manic pixie dream girl is Gus. Gus is this crazy dude, and it's just like John Green is incapable of not writing a character like that and writing more realistically. I don't know, there's just a lot that bugs me about his writing. There's a lot of that bugged me about the writing in this movie, but like I said, it is a really true adaptation to the book. Scott Place just did a really good review on this movie. If you don't know Scott Place for some reason, he is an awesome booktuber and does also movie reviews and stuff, so I'm going to link to his review in the description because I really liked everything he had to say about it. Yeah, moving on, then I saw 22 Jump Street, and this is the sequel to 21 Jump Street with Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. Like Seth Rogen and seeing like Neighbors last month, Jonah Hill has that same effect on me. I love Jonah Hill. I love everything that he's in. I will watch anything that he's in. I don't know why, but I just love that style of movie, even though it's so ridiculous. For some reason, I love watching those movies because they're so funny. And this one especially was really freaking hilarious. I laughed so hard during this entire movie. It was so much better than like Seth Rogen and Neighbors last month, and I praised that really heavily last month. This month, 22 Jump Street was freaking amazing. It was so good. Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum had this really awesome chemistry together on screen. It was really, really well written. It plays with the idea of the movie being a sequel really, really well. Like the fact that it's called 22 Jump Street and the last movie is called 21 Jump Street. It plays with that a lot. It plays a lot with the fact that a lot of sequels are the exact same thing as the first movie, just rehashed, and it like kind of flips that on its head and does something completely different. It is so good. It was really well written, really well done, really well acted. It was really funny, and I really, really enjoyed it a lot. If you've seen the first movie, then you should definitely check out this movie because it is even better. It was one of the best comedy movies I've seen in a while. The last thing I want to talk about is the season finale for Fargo happened. That was pretty freaking intense. If you haven't watched Fargo yet, you really should. I'm sure you can find all the episodes online. In fact, I know you can find all the episodes online. The season finale was kind of ridiculous, and I can't wait for the next season. There's already been confirmed that a second season is going to happen, and the second season is going to have all new characters, new situations. It's going to be the same kind of vibe and stuff going on, but it's completely different, and I really like that a lot. I think that's a really cool idea. And this first season was just amazing. It was so good, and I really think you should watch it if you haven't already. And then, something I was so excited for, and didn't disappoint in the slightest, was the season 2 of Orange is the New Black, which came out on Netflix. The entire season came out on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, watch it online. Watch both seasons online. Watch both seasons if you haven't watched any of it already, because it is so freaking good. It is one of my favorite shows ever now. It is so much fun to watch. It is so funny. After watching the second season, I watched the entire first season over again. It was just so good. It was so much fun to watch. The last episode of the second season was the best thing I've seen in a long time. Basically, if you don't know, it's about this woman named Piper who has to go to a woman's prison, and basically crazy stuff happens. The entire prison is just one big cast of characters, and they're all amazing. I saw like a quote from somewhere, from some like review or something, where it said that this was like the most amazing cast of female characters ever put together, and it is so true. And not just female cast of characters, any cast of characters. The fact that they're female is irrelevant. They're all amazing. Everybody in the show is amazing. I love all the characters. All the girls in the women's prison are amazing. I would watch a show about pretty much every single one of them if there was one. Like if there was a main, and like each girl had their own show and they were the main character of the show, I would watch every single one of them because they're all interesting. They're all fun to learn about, and you get to learn about all of them. Like the first season really focuses on Piper, and to be honest with you, I kind of don't like Piper in the slightest. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to like Piper that much because she's kind of annoying, and really she's just really annoying. And I really didn't like her for most of the first season. She got a little bit better in the second season, but we also don't focus on her as much in the second season. We focus on the prison as a whole and each of the separate girls more and more in the season. And every single one of their stories is interesting to learn about. There's a bunch of new characters, and all the new characters are really great, and we learn about them a bunch. All of the different interactions going on between all the different people in this prison are really great. It's so much fun to watch. It's so funny, and I really, really enjoy watching it a lot. It's so much fun to watch. It's so funny. And if you haven't watched that show yet, you really should. I'll of course warn you that it's very graphic sometimes. A little bit overly graphic. It's kind of unnecessary sometimes how crazy it gets with that. I think a lot of TV shows do a little bit too much with the graphicness sometimes nowadays. But I mean, if you watch my wrap-up, my book wrap-up, whatever, you know that I'm a prude by now. Anyway, just know that going into it. It's kind of graphic sometimes, but it's also amazing and hilarious and just one of the best shows I've ever seen. That's it, guys. I'll see you very soon with more. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.